when Royal Caribbean came out with the TikTok talking about the Ultimate World Cruise. We were like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like, you could do this on what we love, which is cruising, and you don't have to do the night watches and all the crazy stuff of sailing yourself. You have these people that are like trained professionals, and you have a huge ship where you can meet a bunch of people and stuff and have other crazy, exciting people that want to do it too. And so when we looked into that, we were like, yeah.
I'm Larry Sprung, your host for the Mitlin Money Mindset and founder and wealth advisor of Mitlin Financial. Today, we are thrilled to introduce Brooklyn Swetchie. She recently wrapped up traveling the world on the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise. Brooklyn experienced a dream that many of us can only imagine, exploring the farthest corners of the globe aboard one of the most luxurious cruise lines. As part of the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise, she visited breathtaking destinations, experienced diverse cultures, and embraced all the world has to offer. Through our travels, she shared insights on the adventure, personal growth, and the importance of seizing opportunities to live life to the fullest. Brooklyn's story is one of exploration, curiosity, and the pursuit of unforgettable experiences. Join us as we dive into Brooklyn's epic world journey, hear about her favorite destinations, and learn how the adventures are shaping her perspectives on life and the world. Well, I am super excited today because, as you all know, I love talking about travel, love talking about experiences. I think they're so important for people, families, etc. And we have a great guest today. We have Brooklyn Swetchie, who traveled the world on the Royal Caribbean World Cruise. And welcome to the show, Brooklyn.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's not every day you have somebody who's done the amount of traveling that you've done, especially in a short period of time. So I'm excited to hear a lot about this. But before we dive into the trip and the world cruise on Royal Caribbean, can you just share a little bit of background about who you are and kind of what brought, what were you doing up until that point, if you will?
Yeah, I'm currently a student at the University of Alabama. I'm earning my master's in sport hospitality, and I actually was studying there in person. And then on December 10th, well, December 5th is technically when I left school to then start coming to the trip to come to Florida. And then December 10th left and traveled the world and continued my studies while doing that. And I'm still continuing them now post cruise.
Wow. So I guess for those people, and we'll talk about the cruise in a minute, but for those people that think that there's not good Wi-Fi on cruises, evidently that's not the case because you were able to do all your schooling on that trip, right?
Yes, I was able to call into class. I was able to post assignments on time. People were able to live stream. The Wi-Fi was very good, especially with school. So no excuses not getting it done.
There you go. Amazing. Now, our families met a few years back on the 11-night Southern Caribbean cruise back in 2019. And it seems like my boys, you grew up traveling. And, how do you think for those who are listening, maybe have families or are young, how do you think traveling at such a young age has impacted who you are today?
I definitely think that traveling helps me to like try new things, like anywhere I go. Like I've gotten better at wanting to try new foods, try new experiences. Also, it's helped me to adapt to new areas. Just with moving like to college. When I moved to college, it was pretty easy. It was not easy leaving my family, but it was an easy experience getting to meet new people and stuff because it gets you out of your shell and you kind of know how to make new friends and just, yeah, new experiences. Because moving or going to new places, like it really just helps you to do that. And I think that really helped to broaden my experience just on people and life. Really just to live life to the fullest and see as much as I can when I can.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm sure you have a lot to say about this, so I want to give sufficient time. And, speaking of travel, what was it like to sail for 274 days on the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise?
So my parents always had the dream of sailing around the world, either doing it themselves or doing it, I don't know, some other way, but sailing around the world was what they wanted to do. And we've always loved cruises, like how we met on a cruise, and we've cruised since 2007. So it's always been our favorite thing. And then when Royal Caribbean came out with the TikTok talking about the ultimate world cruise, we were like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like you could do this on what we love, which is cruising, and you don't have to do the night watches and all the crazy stuff of sailing yourself. You have these um, people that are like trained professionals, and you have a huge ship where you can meet a bunch of people and stuff and have other crazy, exciting people that want to do it too. And so when we looked into that, we were like, yeah. And then my parents asked us if we wanted to do it, and somehow me and my sister perfectly had the time to kind of leave for 9 months. So it kind of felt like a study abroad, and it was perfect.
Yeah, amazing. What is it like? Just I talk about that 11-night cruise from several years ago, and I was like, that was one of the best cruises I've been on because I've always felt like the 5 days are too short,
Hmm.
the 7 days are still a little too short, and the 11-day for me was like perfect amount of time in terms of length. But what's it like, going even that on steroids to 270, 9 months being on a ship.
Yeah, going on to it, I was like, okay, this is a little crazy. And the first month was like, oh, wow. So we've done a month, like there's 8 more to go. And then all of a sudden, June hit, and that's me and my sister's birthday. And I was like, okay, time, you can slow down now. Like,
Right.
it's going a little too fast. And then it hit August. And then I was like, no, we leave next month. Um, but yeah, it was so cool going to new place to place, meeting new people, because there were people that came on and came and left, and did like the mini segments.
Okay.
And then there were the people that you saw all the time, which is cool because honestly, my sister and I grew up watching Sweet Life on Deck, and I always dreamed of being those kids doing school on a cruise ship and traveling the world. And I actually ended up watching that show. I didn't fully get to watch the whole thing before I left for the trip, but I did watch it my freshman year. So it was funny watching it for my master's and getting to live it. So it was just pretty cool, I guess, living that childhood dream,
Hmm.
getting to like study and sail around the world and everything. But now, after doing 9 months of cruising, I don't think I'll ever unpack on a cruise because it will feel like there's no point because it would feel like a 3 night cruise.
So do you think it's ruined your cruising experience going forward?
No, it's just gonna feel too short, and I'll be like, "Can I
Right.
do a month?"
Yeah.
I haven't done a cruise back since, but I think it would be cool just like walking around the ship, and I guess getting. I think I'll want to do more like cruise activities because I think I want to do more like Bahama cruises and like starting up with it, and then I'll do
Right.
want to do more like, I don't know, the zip lining, the flow rider, the shows. Like I've always loved that, but I feel like I have more of appreciation for it, and then I'm also hoping, because so far with our friends that have been on the World Cruise and then our parents who have done cruises since, they've seen a lot of the crew members and just guests that we sailed with. So I think that's really cool, having that family
Yeah.
that you're always going to see the people, which always has been a thing with cruising. Like if you're a
Hmm.
big cruising families, you're going to see those families again. But this one feels a little different because it's like your family, your world cruise family is now on the ship and cruises with you. So it's just going to be different and cool time to like see each other and fun surprises.
Yeah, crazy. So, you hit 7 continents, 8 world wonders, and 65 countries. Unbelievable. So, I guess you can't even feel like you're ever cooped up on the ship because you were always out and about
Hmm.
seeing so many amazing things. What was the highlight of the journey for you?
I have a top four that I've been telling people.
Okay.
And so I would definitely say Maria and the French Polynesia was my top. It felt like I was in the movie Moana. It was beautiful. I want to go back again. I want to stay longer. It was a tender port. So when we were tendering back in, I was like, no, take me back. Um, and then the second was Antarctica. Antarctica, I did love. I loved it. But I want to go back and polar plunge, and then I think it will be top one with Maria. I just want to polar plunge next time because I think that would be awesome.
Was it not an option or?
No, you need to be on a smaller ship. So you need to have like less people.
I know like National Geographic, their ship does that, the polar plunge, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so I definitely wanna do one like that where you get to, like, go out there, but we did get to see some of the crew members got to because they took a picture of the ship out there, so that was super cool for them. And then 3rd is 2, and that was Africa and India. It was really cool because Africa was unexpected, with going, like, down to South Africa. I know we're supposed to do Morocco and everything, but that was amazing and going on the safaris, and I love elephants, so that was really cool getting to see that. And then India was just beautiful. The Taj Mahal was super cool. The culture, the people, super nice. And then my 4th, I think I would have to say Norway because we had a crazy hiking experience, and that was like life changing. So I definitely put that as 4.
What made that hike in Norway life changing?
So it was supposed to be like a 3-hour hike.
Oh boy.
And it was like 3 hours up, 3 hours back is what I was thinking it was. And then we go up kind of like the 3 hours, and then it's a beautiful view. Like there's like a
Right.
little like houses up there. And then you just see like the mountains and the water and everything, and it's just amazing. And then we kept going a little bit more, and then we realized we are stuck and have to keep going. And then we ended up rock climbing basically. And then we were really high up. And again, this is like our first like actual hike that we've ever done.
And was this not planned as part of the adventure or?
It was planned, the hike, like it was something we wanted to do, but it was something on our own. But there was a
Oh,
path, so there was all these rocks that had red on it. So we weren't going the wrong way. We were just doing it the more treacherous way.
right,
And it was definitely like it was really crazy. I kind of felt like I was in the Amazing Race or something, like going through a test.
right.
And it was just a test, like a mental test, physical test, and it was also crazy with like changing in elevation and also
Sure.
in weather because you're sweating on the way up and then you're freezing at the top, and then it started raining and stuff. But again, it was just the views, you're just like, this is insane. I like literally cannot wait to tell everyone about this. And then we saw the chairlift, and then that's how we knew that we made it back to regular life. But it was
Wow.
cool, and we even saw sheep up there. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was insane. I just felt like I was on an adventure that tested the limits, and it was worth it. I'd honestly do it again now that I know kind of how it goes. But
Right.
the rock climbing was intense, and I want to keep hiking and do cool things like that again.
Yeah, well, that's good to learn that.
Yeah, we had a good view of the ship from really high up.
I bet. Did you guys see the Big 5 when you were, on safari?
We didn't get to see lions, but we saw basically, yeah, we saw everything but lions. So that was, yeah.
Alright, yeah, I we went to South Africa, my family and I, in, I think 2019 or 2020? No, 2019, we went to, South Africa, and, it was amazing. The safari was fantastic.
Yeah, it's unreal, all the animals and everything. And when we were in Sri Lanka, one of the elephants actually ended up he was just passing by us, so we were just like not moving, we were watching, and then he stuck his trunk in and like touched my leg. And with going to Alabama and everything, it was just like a weird, like, do we just have a connection kind of thing? And then he just kept walking, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best day of my life. And I almost like cried because it was just like, wow. And then we
Amazing.
went to Africa after that, and then all those animals there was just
Oh, it's
really,
amazing.
really cool.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, it was amazing.
Imagine a relationship where financial conversations don't feel stressful, but actually bring you joy. We've designed a guide to help you have positive, meaningful money conversations with your partner. This isn't just another budgeting tool, it's a roadmap for building trust and connection. So if you're ready to start a joyful money journey with your partner, go to mitlin.us/couplesjoy and download your free guide. Transform your financial future together starting today. So, I mean, going into this, obviously, you have to have certain expectations, right? In terms of what this trip's going to be like, kind of what you want to experience or what you think you're going to experience. What surprised you most about this adventure? And maybe there's more than one. I don't know. It was a long period of time, so.
Honestly, I feel like I like the family we made like on the trip. Like I think I knew I was going to meet a lot of people, but like it's just like meeting everyone, like meeting crew members to meeting the crew members' families because when we were in the Philippines and India and Indonesia, their families actually got to come on for the day. So it was really cool getting to see them show their family from across the world their life and what they do and work, and then us getting to meet them and having like that having such a big impact on us. And then also, yeah, just like the meeting of the guests and everything, that was just super cool. Like knowing that there's some people that live close to me now where I live for work. And so that's cool to have them there just in case, because like my family doesn't live in the same city. So I know that I have them right there in the city next to me. And then also just getting like I've seen some of the kids from the trip. And that was been really cool. But yeah, it's really just like this family that we made, and we know we're going to see each other again. Like it was sad knowing that we're not all going to be in the same place at once. But when I was like crying and like sad about it, I knew that I'd still like see them again. It would just be different.
Were people all that were on this trip specifically, not the people that were hopping on and off, on the mini trips, but the people who committed to taking this 9-month journey with you, were they predominantly from the US? Were they scattered all throughout the US? Some people not US? Like, what was the makeup of that group?
I would say a majority was from the US, and then next would have been Australia.
Oh,
um, and which is a long trip from Australia to Miami. And then we had a family from South Africa that was on the whole thing, and then we had a few from a few other countries, or like they had grown up in other countries, but now they live in the U.S.
right,
Because like there
right.
were some from like Gambia and stuff, so it was cool just having people from other places, but now live in the US. But I would say like US and Australia was like the bigger numbers. And so, yeah. And I've already seen people meeting up with each other on Facebook. So it's cool.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier to stay in touch now, right? Through those electronic communications. So,
Yes, for sure.
one of the things I saw was the crew planned a lot of celebrations. They had a celebration for the Super Bowl on the pool deck, your birthdays, which happened to be on the same day, a crossing of the equator, and there were like so many more. They tried to celebrate a lot of the moments while you were on this trip. What were your favorite events along the way that they threw for you guys?
Yeah, definitely birthday was the top one. Like they just made us feel so special, and it was really cool because actually some other crew members, it was their birthday too. And then finding out that other guests had the same birthday as us, because some you just don't talk, like you don't think to talk about your birthday until it's going on, and then you have them coming up to you and be like, it's my birthday too, and you're like, no way. But yeah, they just made us feel so special, and get like celebrating with us and everything. And then it was cool like how me and my sister get to share it together, so we got to really celebrate that. But that was a birthday I think I'll never forget, and honestly nothing will top that.
Did the whole ship sing happy birthday or what?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, basically everywhere we went, everybody was singing happy birthday. And it was like one big happy family, and it was amazing. And I was really happy with what they'd done. And they went above and beyond anything we could have ever thought of. Because yeah, it was just that family and everybody being there was just really cool. Crossing the equator, that was really fun. I've done that ceremony before, but this one was fun because I really got to be a part of it and be a scoundrel and get the water dumped on me, kiss the fish, everything like that. And then they like played funny jokes on us and everything, so that was cool. I did really like that. I wish they would continue to incorporate. They would bring on performers from the countries we are in, and
Oh.
I thought that was really cool. When we were in, there were so many. Like when we were in China, they brought on a dance group. When we were in South Africa, a dance group. Like just all this different stuff, and they taught like they in New Zealand they brought on people, and they did the haka, and that was something I've always wanted to see. I still want to see it at a rugby game. But getting to see that from the people from New Zealand was really cool because you really get to learn and embody their culture. And sometimes you got to go up
Yeah.
on stage and do the Polynesian, they have poi balls, so that was cool. I learned to do that when I was younger, but getting to learn to do it in New Zealand was really cool. So I wish they would continue doing that. Like even in when we're in port in the Bahamas, if they brought on people to teach a dance and to do a performance, like I loved that, and I thought that was just really, really cool getting to really see the cultures and be a part of that.
Yeah, live and in person, not somebody trying to replicate it. It's like authentic.
Yeah, it was the real people. Yeah, and some of them have never been on a ship before, so they were able to explore the ship for a little bit and then perform for us. And yeah, it's just really cool, like getting to go up there and do it because I'd always volunteer because I wanted to learn and stuff. So yeah, I would love if they continued that.
Could you share with us, because I'm not sure how many of our listeners know what the ceremony is when you cross the equator, and it sounded like the way you were trying to allude to it, that's a pretty interesting one. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, so when we cross the equator, King Neptune comes and he has to punish the scoundrels that have done something wrong. And so he brings them forward, and it's usually how we did it was there was a few crew members, and every now and then there would be one guest. And so I got to be the one guest. And they would just do funny things that would punish us or funny things that on why they were going to be punishing us.
Right.
And so to punish us, they have to dump a bucket, a bowl, a cup, whatever size amount of ice water onto the backs of the scoundrel. And then after that, you have to kiss the fish.
Right.
And when I did it, mine was, I think, a bucket. And then it was me and one of the other crew members, because I made him do because we would do a bunch of TikToks together. They jokingly said that I needed to get more ice water down my back. And we got a whole entire like trash bin, like that size of water dumped on us. And then had to kiss the fish again. Yeah. And then after that, we are free of our charges.
There you go. So, you led into, TikTok, and I want to talk about that for a minute because a lot of the folks that listen to the show are entrepreneurs, business owners, people are trying to expand their reach on social media. And, you've been vlogging for over 5 years. And I believe it looks like that your time on the Ultimate World Cruise, that content has kind of taken your social footprint to a whole new level. What has that growth, that change, that trajectory taught you, over the last year or so?
Yeah, so yeah, I have been posting for a while. I kind of was doing it more for like me and my friends just to be like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And I enjoyed creating this stuff. And then, yeah, when this came around, when I was just posting about it like I normally do, it just kept getting more traction than my others videos did. And then it kind of felt like a job in a way because you wanted to make sure that you were getting out that content in a timely manner, and you were putting out good product. So that was pretty cool now having like a bigger group of people watching it because like the amount of comments of people just being like, you really do create good stuff. Like it made me feel good. Like, okay, it like my work has paid off these past years, like learning how to do this just by posting. So yeah, that's been cool. It sometimes does feel like a job, but a fun job because it's cool, like getting to, yeah, show off my travels, but doing it in my personal way and getting to put out like my personal brand.
Amazing. And I think I found this funny because I think we saw this somewhere that within a few weeks of the cruise leaving, you and several other cruisers were taking over TikTok, right, with these videos. And I read that there was a 67-year-old retiree who only posted on TikTok after his adult children encouraged him to share the videos he was sending to them. Why do you think that TikTok resonates with so many people, the content that puts out?
Oh yeah, that was Cruise Mom and Dad. I remember that. um, yeah, I think just people really, I don't know, I think they just enjoy like seeing these creative people that maybe relate to their parents in a way, like how that like because now that's how I feel. Like seeing like how they posted is kind of I feel like how my parents are posting because I'm here doing regular life and they're getting to travel. So I think it's just now like if I had seen that when it started, I probably would have resonated with that now. So I think yeah, it's just people resonate with this stuff and then they enjoy like the happiness of people because I love watching TikTok and just seeing people happy and enjoying their life and it just makes me excited for them and then you kind of start getting connected and then you're just like wait I want to keep seeing what's going on with their life, this is so cool, and then it's like reality TV in a way that you're like oh wow this is real life and you get
Right.
to see this person like really go travel the world, and then if you are somebody that likes travel it then gives you ideas to want to do the same, or it helps you resonate back on when you went there because I had friends when I was in South Africa telling me like, "Oh my gosh, I love my time in South Africa. That's so cool. Did you try this? Did you do this?" I think yeah, people just resonated with so much and for different reasons, and so that's why they enjoy the TikTok stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you think TikTok just resonates across the board, not only just in this travel environment, really, in multiple levels. Like,
Mhm.
it sounds like any business, if you create kind of that following and you create that content, you can resonate with whoever your audience is. Is that fair statement?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, as a dad of children who are similar ages to you and your sister, what was it like, especially given that your dad served in the military, and I'll thank him again for his service, right? What was it like to spend so many days and maybe all day, I don't know, with your parents? Maybe you weren't spending much time with them at all, but you were in this location with them. Most kids your age, like my kids, are not at home, they're out and about, but this really kind of brought you in a place where you guys were in a very close location for about 9 months. How did that make you feel? How did that work out for you guys?
I thought it was pretty cool, like because I was gone at school, so it was fun getting to like have family dinners again and enjoy that time together. Also with school, like while we were doing that, our parents were relaxing or doing whatever. Um, and then sometimes me and my sister were the ones that just went to the parties, and my parents went to bed early. So yeah, we would do our own thing throughout the day, or we do it together, but we really enjoy our time together. So it was good getting to do that and go see the shows and stuff. But yeah, especially when it was around the time of school during the day, we were basically doing school. So we were like all on our own, relaxing. But then when it came to the pool time, we were all going to be up there, up at the pool and stuff. So
Were you able to manage like school in a way that you were doing that during sea days, so you didn't have to interrupt like port days or traveling, stuff like that? Were you able to kind of manage that in a way that worked for you guys?
yes, yeah. So it honestly worked out because when school started up, that was January. So that was around the time when we were crossing to the South Pacific. So we had all the sea days to Hawaii. From Hawaii, we had all the sea days to Australia and New Zealand, and then we had all the sea days to the South Pacific, and then also sea days with Asia. So that worked out because we had the time for those sea days and stuff, and then I was able to get it done whenever I could. Occasionally, there would be a little bit before that. With there were times like just I had been to those ports before that I'd been so many times that I would do schoolwork on those days, but it did work out though having those sea days because I know with the summer with Europe, if those port days were during school
Right.
time, that would have been impossible because it was just every day we had a port. So it was good with the timing around school that I just had those sea days to really get my work done. But it was hard knowing that it was beautiful weather outside and I was inside doing schoolwork.
How hard was it? I mean, I got to imagine, like, I know in a dorm or on a school, on a school campus, right? There are distractions there. You have your friend that wants to go do this, but you got to study or things like that. But not, so much so that you're on this boat with hundreds of other people, probably hundreds of other people your age that want you doing stuff and going out and about. How, was it really hard to kind of put those distractions aside in order to get that work done?
Yeah, well, usually everybody on the ship knew what we were doing with school, so they would make sure that we were getting it done. And honestly, I felt like I had so many like second parents, aunts and uncles telling me and grandparents telling me to get my work done and asking me if I did my schoolwork.
Right.
So that was helpful just to keep me accountable. But there were places to work. There was some desks that were kind of like closed off that no one really saw you unless they kind of peeked their head in or whatever. Um, so yeah, it was not too hard. There were times, of course, that I got distracted that, oh, I do want to do that trivia, so I will come back to my schoolwork
Right.
and do it later. But yeah, I had to discipline myself to make sure I got it done. But I try to do it more in the morning than do it later because later at night there might be a dress up party going on, a show or something, and then by that time I just forget and I was should have been doing the work and I
Right.
didn't. But so that's why I always made sure to do it in the morning and get it done before like 2 or 3 o'clock before I
Yeah.
wanted to go outside of the pool or do something else.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you were super grateful for the trip. I love hearing about it. It was fun watching the travels, and this brings me a lot of joy even talking about this and trying to think about where my next adventure is going to be. So I appreciate that. But before we let you go, we ask each of our guests the same final question because we are the Mitlin Money Mindset. We are all about joy, and that is, what did you do today that brought you joy and put you in the right mindset for success?
Well, I made sure to do my laundry and fold it and get it ready to start my day today. And then also, I'm figuring out my plans for Halloween tonight and just excited to either watch some scary movies or something. And yeah, just relax and take in the day.
There you go. Well, listen, I have one more question for you because this is going to be airing in early 2025. And I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Who do you have for the 2024-2025 Stanley Cup?
Oh, the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. So you're now working for the Panthers. So you got to be all Panthers,
Oh,
right?
yeah, go Cats.
All right. Well, you got to give our Rangers a little bit of opportunity, please. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. So we'll see if they can repeat. It's always a hefty task in the NHL to be able to repeat with everything that goes on with salary caps, et cetera. But
Yeah, keeping my
it'll,
fingers crossed.
there you go. Well, listen, if we're going to have all your information in the show notes, but if people want to learn more about you, kind of see, what the trip was like through your eyes, what's the easiest and best way for them to find you, learn more about you, or connect with you?
I would say all my handles are Brooklyn Travels the World on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. So make sure to keep in contact there. And you'll see all my travels and things that I'm getting up to post cruise.
Awesome. Well, listen, Brooklyn, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I appreciate you taking out the time and enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
I want to thank Brooklyn Swetchy for being a guest on the Mitlin Money Mindset. Brooklyn had the huge privilege of experiencing something that many of us can only dream of. The joy she experienced and the education she was given through her travels is something that will certainly set her up for life. Just amazing. Amazing. Be sure to take a look at Brooklyn's social media and how she documented her travels, because this will certainly have you convinced that experiences are superior to gifts. This is the type of joy we should be striving for during our lives. Brooklyn Swetchy and all she is up to can be found across most social media platforms. All the contact information needed to find her can be found in the show notes.